November 26th, and I hope you had a great Christmas if you celebrate it. If you don't, I hope you had a great Friday. Yeah, I hope you had a day off and you had some fun. Today's the daily financial news. Before we get into the news, real quick, a couple of quick announcements that I don't know, kind of cool from one rental at a time. First and foremost, we are now 30 reviews away from 400 on Amazon. Thank you very much for everyone who has stepped up. If you have read the book and you want to be part of the first 400, that would be wonderful. Crazy goal, try to get there by the end of the year, which is a quick 5 days away. So we'll see. That's 6 a day. I don't know if we can get there, but if you can help me out, that would be wonderful. Number two, we are 14 subscribers away from this channel from being 14,000 strong. So thank you very much for that. If you want to be able to tell your friends years from now that you were part of the first 14,000, you're going to have to hit subscribe because my guess is we get there by noon today Pacific. So hit subscribe, become part of the family as we do daily original content starting with the daily financial news. I put out a video yesterday with everything we do. It even impressed me, all the things we have scheduled, multimillionaires, things of that nature for you every week. It's pretty amazing. And then finally, I don't talk about it a lot. I do have an Instagram account called One Rental at a Time. You might want to join that as well. We are putting out original content every day, a couple of posts. And we are 76 followers away from 6,000. So the One Rental at a Time family is certainly growing. I can feel and see the momentum growing. So it's pretty amazing. So in the end, what I want to do is thank you. We are doing this together. This is ours. As you will see at 8 o'clock today, or about 28 minutes, we will do a 60-minute Q&A. You can count on that most Saturdays, and I'll let you know when we're not doing it. 9 o'clock with my students. And, we're going to do the daily financial news now. I do want to give you a heads up on this particular daily financial news. I'm going to close with hopefully what will be heartfelt kind of message. I want to get to the daily financial news first, just in case that's what you came for. But at the end, I'm guessing there'll be a 4 or 5 minute message of hope and, just hopefully positive, good news. But let's get to the daily financial news because that's what you came for. First and foremost, we still do not have a signed stimulus plan. It starts to get uncomfortable tomorrow. And what I mean by that is the emergency unemployment benefits ends today. So as of tomorrow, about 14 million folks who are in the emergency, and that's the extra 13 weeks, lose their benefits. 14 million people. That's a big number. And again, remember, that's folks who exhausted the first 26 weeks, and they're going for week 27 through 39. Pretty bad. Again, those are probably the ones most affected, right? They probably are in the hotel or hospitality. They are probably in restaurants. They are probably in, all of that. We can quibble about people sitting on the couch and, earning more money. Yes, it's certainly possible. Yes, it happens. But come on, we're talking about 5% of the folks, and frankly, they'll get theirs eventually. We have a lot of people that skipped Christmas this year. The K-shaped Christmas is real. Let's stop punishing the masses for bad behavior by the few. So again, that starts to get uncomfortable. Then a short, what would that be? 4 days later, the eviction moratorium by the CDC expires. Lots of things start to unwind. So I'm wondering, does President Trump sign the bill today? Does he veto the bill today? Or perhaps most likely, does he just put it in his pocket and play golf? He can pocket veto this, right? He doesn't technically have to sign. He doesn't technically have to veto. And if he just pocket vetoes this, I'm not sure Congress can do anything. I wonder when Congress or the government shuts down, right? Because their continuing resolution expires pretty soon as well, right? Because there's a $900 billion stimulus, and then there's like a $1.4 trillion budget. I think they're all in one bill. And if he just puts it in his pocket, I wonder what happens. I think that right now seems like the most likely case, which is going to be interesting political theater. But again, there's a lot of people that start to feel real pain tomorrow. So we shall see. Next up, I was looking at the retail bankruptcies, and I got to tell you, I was surprised it wasn't more. Maybe there will be more filed between now and the end of the year. Could be possible, right? People hoping to get through Christmas. But the big boys obviously was J.C. Penney's, $5 billion in assets, $10 billion in liabilities. That's not good. Neiman Marcus was next, $5 billion assets, $5 billion in liabilities. Then there's Guitar Center, Taylor Brands, GNC. I didn't realize GNC had 2,633 stores. That's GNC's like protein shakes and all this diet stuff that you see in the malls. I didn't realize they were that big, 2,633 stores. Again, Guitar Center, Taylor Brands, and GNC, all about $1 billion in assets, $1 billion in liability. I'm going to try to look up all the restaurants. I think even more restaurants went bankrupt. And again, this is not over. We are seeing a pivot in retail, as you know, brick and mortar versus online. The folks that went online early, and often like Nike is a brand that's been online since I've been selling software 15 or 20 years ago. So they're definitely cranking. We definitely got to watch Georgia. It is an important election. I personally believe in a balanced government. So I certainly want the Republicans to win at least one seat just because I want a balanced government. But right now, it doesn't look like it's set up that way. Again, as we've learned, polls mean nothing, so maybe it's fake news. But in reality, what is being reported now is kind of interesting. There's been a record surge in donations for one side, and we have one side basically boycotting the election, which is not good news. And then lastly, if you are in Georgia and you're a Georgia resident, why not vote early? You don't have to wait till, what is it, the 5th or 6th? Why not vote early, get it done, get it out of the way? Again, both sides, right? Make sure you vote. The only people who can complain about the outcome are the people that voted. If you stayed at home and boycotted, I don't want to hear about it. So in the end, let's see what happens. I, again, am hoping for a divided government, not because I'm a Republican or a Democrat, but because I believe that is the only way to force negotiations. And sort of the give and take. It's not perfect, but it's certainly better than all Republican or all Democrat. So we shall see. Another thing we see is it's going to be interesting to watch the UK. I'm really looking forward to interviewing folks from the UK. If you know anybody, make an intro. This is going to, the Brexit deal is done. The UK and the EU have a signed agreement. It is going to happen. And this has been 4 years in the making. I would assume it's going to be uncomfortable for a while living in the UK, just economically. But I think there will be tremendous opportunities. I think there will be people that take advantage of the situation and move forward. And then there'll be some that are crushed by this decision. So there we go. And then lastly, for the daily financial news, I just read that China is expected to be larger than the U.S. economy by 2028, a full 5 years earlier than was first reported. I don't know if that's a big deal, right? They're 4 or 5x population. The average consumer there is not, not anywhere near what we are here. Does it hurt the ego a little? Probably. Does it become one of those things that you go, hey, is the U.S. dollar at risk? I don't think so from being the reserve currency. We've seen what happens in China just recently, so I don't see that happening. But again, that's, I think frankly it's inevitable that happens, that China outgrows the U.S. GDP. But I don't know that it's a horrific outcome, but we'll see. We got about 8 years to happen. And just because I just forgot I put this here, good old Larry Summers. I don't know if you've heard of him. He was the former Treasury Secretary under Clinton, I believe. He actually came out and said the $2,000 stimulus is a huge policy mistake. Huge policy mistake. I read the article. As an economist, I could see where he's coming from, but he is frankly wrong. I'm not saying I support the 2000. Don't hear it that way. But his talk about the 2000 is like suddenly the economy would be on fire and inflation would come. Well, Larry, you must not have figured out what happened in April. If you send everyone some money, most, should I say most? Yeah, most save it. Look at our savings rate when that first 1200 came out. It expanded. So money that's not circulating is not inflating. It's just more dry powder. So Larry, you're wrong. I'm not really sure why you're on TV kind of spreading that message. Again, I'm not supporting 2000. I'm not going against it. I just think your argument for the 2000 being wrong is invalid. So now that's the daily financial news. I wanted to close with a 4 to 5 minute message. Basically, it's something off of yesterday. I want to let you know that things get better from here. You've been hearing me talk since March about getting to the bottom. We are now there. The fact that we had to do a Zoom Christmas has to be the bottom. Certainly there will be worse numbers coming, but again, numbers are look back. We need to look forward. I believe you need to realize that, you know what? You survived 2020. That's a big deal, right? Surviving 2020, your family, economically, it's something that I believe that if you're below 30, it is something that you should probably hold on to and have be something you call upon the next recession, the next thing, because unfortunately, if you're below 30, you're going to have 4 or 5 more recessions. So remember this one. Think about it. Put it in the piggy bank so you can call on it next time. It is going to be something that will be fuel. If you're older than 30, this one was different, but it's kind of like all the others, right? The economy contracts, weird stuff happens, the government doesn't help us. Hey, I'm here from the government, here to help. No, they're not. They're here to bail out the rich. But again, we are almost through this. Be ready to take care of opportunities. If you're over 30, you know that there's opportunities in the chaos and they are coming. Again, things get better. Unemployment gets better from here. GDP gets better from here. And I'm talking quarter on quarter, right? Q1's better than Q4. Q2's better than Q1. Q3 is better than Q2. The next thing I want to remind you of is some folks right here in the YouTube universe, they want to tear things down. They want to spread fear. They want to spread hate. They want to destroy versus build. I believe that attitude is misguided. I believe the great thing about social media is we are all going to shine a light on hatred, on fear, on destruction. And what we will do in 2021 is we will build. We will succeed. We will show these, what do I want to call them? Entertainers that fear doesn't win. The shining light of social media is bright when we are going down, but when the economy bounces back, it will be equally bright on the people that said fear, hate, destruction are coming. It's not. We will be fine. We will get through this. We will be better for it. It doesn't feel like that today, but it will happen. Again, there are always people that want to talk destruction and hate. Don't listen. What I want to remind you of is you control what is between your ears, what is in your heart. You can either look at a glass as half full or half empty. You can either choose to look at something as hate or love. And you can say things like them or us. Them or us. Lastly, there's 3 things I want to live by next year. One is I want to stop the name calling. Why are we labeling everyone? Why do we label people that disagree with us? They are first and foremost Americans. Stop labeling them because your label brings hatred and disgusting and just things that likely aren't true. Stop labeling. Second, look inward and control what you can control. You control you, your family unit, and if you can bring them forward, call them out on behavior that's not helpful, we can all win. And finally, this one is important. I want all of us to simply smile more. When you smile, it's just a easy thing to do. We can all do it. Just smile more in 2021. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day. We will talk to you in about 15 minutes. Thanks.